You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Happy Thursday, it's May 23rd. I'm Kimberly Perot and welcome to Good Morning Vail. Now we are on the eve of a Memorial Day weekend and we've got lots of conversations to be had around food safety tips for this weekend because I'm sure you're embarking on hiking, biking, grilling and more. Excited about that conversation. Plus we'll be talking to an expert about lung cancer diagnosis and how to really navigate this conversation, this topic, and if you are to have somebody in your family or if you yourself happen to be diagnosed. Plus, Vail vibes. We're talking about e-bikes and more. So all of that is getting started. Let's take a look at Good Morning Vail.
Presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces. Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Hi there! Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman. Featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to The Neighborhood. Check your local program schedule and tune in.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
Learn the latest in science each week and how it relates to everyday life. From space exploration to plant biology to the latest in high-tech advances. Every new scientific development is explored and explained in an understandable way. Amazing stories each week. Watch Science Now.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, summertime is upon us, and you know what that means. Lots of outdoor eating and dining and taking friends on picnics and barbecues galore. Now, did you know that over 128 people are hospitalized every year from foodborne illness, and 3,000 of those people actually pass away from it? So it is very important to be aware of your food safety. Joining me today is USDA food safety expert Zoya Saltar to talk all about things staying safe as you have fun this summer. Zoya, how are you this morning?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm excellent. I cannot believe we are heading into Memorial Day weekend in the summer months. So talk to us a little bit about food safety. You know, there are so many things to be aware of, and oftentimes people don't pay attention to it. So what do we need to be looking for this summer?
So, summer's here. People want to have fun. They want to be outdoors. Something we have to keep in mind is that when it's warmer and more humid outside, bacteria tends to grow more rapidly. So you want to make sure that you're staying food safe, whether you're having picnics or grilling or going hiking. And so a few tips that the USDA has for you this year is outdoor food safety, making sure that you're packing your perishable foods properly, whether that's in coolers or you're using cold sources, insulated bags, making sure that you're cleaning everything properly if you're cooking outside. So ensuring that you're keeping your raw meat products separate from any other food items, making sure that you're washing your hands for at least 20 seconds. And also you want to make sure you're keeping your food out of what we call the danger zone. The danger zone is when you leave your food outside for at a temperature between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And at this temperature, food bacteria tends to grow a lot more rapidly. So you don't want to leave it in that for more than 2 hours. And so at that point, you recommend, you take it back into the fridge or throw it away.
It's true. I grew up around catering and restaurants, so I am very familiar with making sure that your food doesn't sit out for too long and washing your hands. I know one of the tricks that somebody has told me is to sing the ABCs while you wash your hands. So that's a great way to do it. So let's talk about—
Or happy birthday.
Or happy birthday. I love that one too. That's an easy one. Everybody knows it. So let's talk a little bit about the danger zones. What does that look like? How do we actually know, from start to finish, what does that look like?
Yeah, so like I said, when food is between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, it has a limited time before it becomes a food safety risk. And so what you want to make sure is that you are either keeping your hot foods hot, so this means you're keeping it above 140 degrees Fahrenheit. You can do that by keeping it on the grill, keeping it in a chafer, a warming dish, something like that. And that means you can leave your food out for longer than 2 hours. However, if you want to keep it cold, okay, that means keeping it less than 40 degrees Fahrenheit. You do that by keeping it in a bowl, sort of nestled on ice, making sure that it's kept in the fridge and only taking it out when you're serving it and putting it right back in. Those are, hot foods hot, cold foods cold are sort of our tips if you want to leave food out a little bit longer. Also something really important to keep in mind, typically we say don't leave your food outside in that between 40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit for more than 2 hours. But in the summer, if you're outdoors having a picnic and it's over 90 degrees outside, the time then gets cut down to 1 hour because of how rapidly the bacteria multiplies in hot weather.
Oh, that's great to know. And especially if you do not have, a food for thermometer, that is a tongue twister to say. If you don't have one of those, it's good to know an hour. If it's over 90 degrees outside, do not let your food sit for longer than an hour. I know a lot of people probably are having like picnics and they've got charcuterie boards and all of those different things. So what advice do you have about that?
Yeah, so you want to make sure that if you're, everyone loves a nice little picnic or spending time out with family in the sun. So just make sure that you're packing everything properly. You have a cooler, you're keeping gel packs, you're keeping ice. You also want to make sure if you're driving somewhere, going somewhere a little bit further away, you're keeping your beverages in a separate cooler and you're keeping your food items in a separate cooler. You want to avoid cross-contamination. Also, when you're out having fun, you want to keep clean. So try to keep hand sanitizer with you, moist towelettes, and as soon as you can, wash your hands with soap and water.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about food safety tips for families and for parents. Are there tools that you have available that we can direct them to use as they're moving throughout summer field trips and all of the fun things?
Yes, we have a whole host of food safety resources available at our website, foodsafety.gov. We also have the handy Food Keeper mobile app available on the Apple Store and Android Store. And also we have our food safety hotline, our meat and poultry hotline at 1-888-MP hotline or 1-888-674-6854, where you can talk to a food safety specialist about any concerns that you have.
Wonderful. Now, Zoe, one last thing. I want to circle back because we are here in the mountains. Can you give some advice for hikers as they are packing snacks for the long day, or, what kind of things should they bring?
Yeah, when you're hiking or camping for more than a few hours, I mean, you definitely can bring those cold foods as long as you're maintaining them at the proper temperatures. But recommendations for shelf-stable items, prepackaged shelf-stable meals, you have peanut butter, juice boxes, canned tuna or ham, dried noodles and soups, beef jerky, a whole host of items out there that you can sort of keep as a backup. But for that first day, you have some more options.
Wonderful. Now, Zoe, one more time, where can we go for more information?
Our website, foodsafety.gov, or call us at the Meat and Poultry Hotline at 1-888-674-6854.
Wonderful. Well, Zoe, you enjoy your summer season, and thank you so much for these food safety tips.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Now, stay tuned. We've got more on our show right after this quick break.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome aboard. Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Hi, I'm Ben Belgrad, and I'm the owner of Drinking Vessels here at Bat Country Studios in Minturn. And I've been in the Valley for 7 years. I moved to the Valley because a friend helped me to get my vision off the ground, building my glass studio here, and being so close to snowboarding. So here at the studio, we're acting as a broker for 50 to 100 artists from around the country. We also offer glassblowing classes, and we bring many artists from around the country here to be able to work and create art collaboratively and be so close to skiing and all the activities we have here in the Valley. Here at Drinking Vessels, we specialize in handmade glass drinkware from artists around the country and around the world. Some of these are produced as more of an item you could get in sets and kind of get different color options as time goes on. And some of these are completely one of a kind and really high-end art that's unlike anything people have seen before. While I'm an artist myself here at the studio, I'm representing between 50 and 100 other artists from around the country. And most of these artists are able to spend most of their time working on their art while we help handle their marketing and their sales and the distribution and representation, allowing them more time to focus on their art. That's really my privilege in running this business, is creating that support and providing that platform for this big group of artists that are part of a movement that's very important to me.
Join host Madison Brown as she visits with guests ranging from country star Toby Keith to magician Tommy Wynn. Explores the kitchen from cake decorating to cooking Hawaiian style, all while exploring unique locations across the country. Check your local listings and tune in.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
The Paltrowcast is an award-winning weekly series featuring exclusive interviews with entertainers, athletes, and other influencers. Tune in weekdays at 10 a.m. to see where the conversation takes us.
Paltrowcast.
Good morning, Vail.
The moment in the show we have all been waiting for, the local weather for today and the weekend and beyond as we head into that holiday weekend and the start of the summer. Let's take a look at today. As you can see, we're looking at 46 degrees. We do have some precipitation coming this afternoon, but the morning is gorgeous. Sun is out, the temperatures are great, nice little bit crisp in the air, but we're looking at rain about 40% today, a high of 64. So great Thursday right before the holiday weekend. The winds are coming from the west by southwest at at 20 to 30 miles per hour. So it's going to be a breezy one today. And we look into the hourly forecast. 46 this morning. We're looking at 58 degrees and mostly sunny at noon. Moving into the afternoon, that's when those rain showers will come in, which is what we're used to here in the mountains. 4 p.m. we've got 54 degrees, and then tonight 45 degrees at 8 p.m. So it's getting a little bit chilly with some rain showers continuing on throughout the evening. Now the I-70 corridor, if you are heading to Denver for the weekend, or you may have some travel coming up, we've got 79 degrees in Denver, looking at Vail, 64 in cloud coverage, and then continuing to move your way west, 66 degrees in Avon, and then 67 in Eagle. So looking like a great day here in the valley. You know, nothing that we can't handle, that's for sure. Rain, we're looking at 30% chance tonight, 29 degrees for the low. So still cool, crisp weather if you're keeping those windows open at night. Sunset at 8:21 p.m. and the winds will be coming from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. A little bit of cloud coverage as well this evening. Now, the weekend, this is what we want to know. It's the holiday weekend, the first one to kick off the summer season. Friday, we're looking at a 10% chance of precipitation. Mostly sunny, 61 degrees for the high, 38 for the low. And then Saturday and Sunday, we are getting a little bit of cloud coverage on those weekend days, but not to fear, the weather will still be great. 60 degrees for the high on Saturday, 37 for the low. And then Sunday, it changes just a little bit, 59 for the high, and then drops into 33 degrees for the low. We are back in that sunshine that we are known for here in the valley. Monday, high of 65, sunshine all day long, 38 degrees for the low, and then 66 degrees on Tuesday for the high, 41 degrees for the low. So still incredible weather coming this holiday weekend. Plus, if you want to get out and about, you're looking at the idea of riding an e-bike or maybe investing into one, Avija with Vail Vibes will show us all how to do it.
Hi friends, welcome to Vail Vibes. Avija Scarborough here, and today we're coming to you from Nottingham Park in Avon, and I'm about to take you for a ride on the wild side. Wild Side e-bikes. They get you to where you need to go fast. I got to explore Avon and Vail by bike in a way that was not above my endurance abilities. And even though my bike had a motor and throttle, I still got a workout while doing it, thanks to being able to lower the assistance levels. Wildside owner Paul Healds says you could always get plenty of exercise depending on which of the 5 power levels you choose.
You can use one of our bikes and use it in the lowest power mode and do more of a workout. You can turn the power off completely and you'll have plenty of exercise. Alternatively, you can turn it up to number 5 and just kick back and cruise from A to B.
Paul has owned a successful ski luggage company for years, but it was some unfortunate bike rides in high humidity that inspired him to get into e-bikes.
Using a bike as a commuter vehicle, a mode of transportation, which I was doing, and I was riding what I call a regular old ice cream bike. Had to pedal it all over the place. I would be getting hot and sweaty. My shirts would be pitted out within about 5 minutes of riding. And my wife looked at me when I was grumbling one day and she says, well, get an e-bike. And I said, not a bad idea, but I don't want a run-of-the-mill e-bike. I want something cool.
So he designed a bike drawing inspiration from the motorcycles of the 1950s, which seemed to epitomize cool. Once he was happy with the design,
this is the battery.
He decided to build it into a brand, and that's how Wildside came to be. Here he is showing us one of his most popular bikes, the Paris, which is designed to look more like a classic cruiser than a motorcycle. Paul says one of the best parts about Wildside's bikes are the accessories. From the helmets to baskets, these accessories are a stylish addition. Paul says some people aren't ready to embrace e-bikes, but he suggests they change their perspective a little.
Well, I think anybody riding an e-bike, the first thing somebody says to them that's on what we call an analog bike now, a regular bike, is cheater. You know, people shout cheater. That's really not what electric bikes are about. The question to me is, well, who are they cheating? Who are they trying to beat? Our bikes are, as I like to say, a mode of transportation. They get people from A to B, and you can have fun while you're doing it.
Wildside's company motto is dedicated to reawakening the spirit of your inner child. And this artwork behind him is a reminder of that.
That's our inner child. That's one of the things that we found with Wildside, was when you get on this bike, however young or however old you are, however experienced or inexperienced you are at riding a bike, there's something about jumping on a Wildside electric bike that puts a smile on your face, and all of a sudden you have fun. And all of a sudden it takes you back to your youth, when you had a bicycle, and all of a sudden you had your independence. And you could leave mum and dad alone. You could go off to the park. You could go play with your friends, you know.
I know my inner child was happy this day. And if you want to take a test drive on the Wildside, you can visit the Wildside Bike Showroom in Avon. For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
Now, we are in the summer months, and there may be a rise in the use of vaping products and a decline in the use of tobacco. But lung cancer is a very important discussion to be had, and I don't think we have enough of it. Joining me today is Dr. Paul Burton, the Senior Vice President and Chief Medical Officer of Amgen, to talk more about this disease and how we can be better prepared and aware of it. Dr. Burton, how are you this morning?
Good morning, Kimberly. Thank you for having me. I'm well.
Well, thank you so much for joining. So let's talk a bit about lung cancer. You know, why is small cell lung cancer so important and dramatic and effective and devastating?
Yeah, no, look, it really is, Kimberly. So of all of lung cancer, small cell lung cancer represents about 15%, so 1 in 7 patients. That means that here in the United States, about 35,000 people every year will be diagnosed with small cell lung cancer. It's very important because it's a very aggressive and very hard to treat type of cancer, and certainly type of lung cancer. It grows very fast, it spreads, and typically it presents late in patients. So they get to their doctor when they have extensive stage disease. And that means that for the 5-year survival for small cell lung cancer with extensive stage disease is only about 3%. And when you think about that in terms of months of life, it means that on average, patients will only live for maybe 3 to 5 months after they've been diagnosed with this extensive stage small cell lung cancer. So it's an important condition, important type of cancer, very aggressive, and it makes it hard to treat.
Now, are you able to catch it early enough, or it doesn't show symptoms until late stages?
Yeah, so the symptoms often are shortness of breath, cough that doesn't go away. These are often kind of symptoms that many other diseases have as well. And so patients may overlook them. By the time they get to their physician, as I say, it's very fast growing, it's spread, and so it presents very late in many of the cases.
Well, can you talk to us about the outlook for patients if they are diagnosed with this disease?
Yeah, so there are treatment options. People with early stage disease can have surgery. There's radiotherapy and chemotherapy, and radiotherapy and chemotherapy are often quite effective early on. But what cancer cells do is they find ways to escape therapy. They find ways to get around radiotherapy, ways to get around chemotherapy, and that's what happens with small cell, and that's why the outlook is really bleak. 3 to 5 month survival on average for these patients, even with therapy, if they have extensive stage disease.
Wow, it sounds very, very intense and definitely something to be aware of. So how can we better treat our health to be preventative from this disease?
Yeah, well, certainly having screening, as you said at the start, thinking about lifestyles, go to your doctor, be aware of signs and symptoms that you may develop, and don't overlook them. In 2023, Amgen presented data from a clinical trial of a medicine called Imdelltra. Now, Imdelltra is an antibody that essentially has 2 arms to it. One arm grabs onto the lung cancer cells, and the other arm grabs onto a white blood cell in the patient's body, and it pulls that white blood cell into the cancer. And as it does that, it activates the patient's immune system, and it stimulates a very strong immune response against the cancer, so that essentially the patient's own immune system kills the cancer cells. Now, I mentioned that the survival on average that we see in these late stage, extensive stage patients is maybe 3 to 5 months. When we presented these study findings, we were thrilled to find that actually we almost tripled the survival in these patients out to 14 months on average.
Wow.
That's another Thanksgiving, it's another opportunity to see a grandchild's graduation. So we think this is a potentially transformative new therapy, new treatment option for these patients, and we were thrilled with the results.
Well, thank you to Amgen for being on the forefront of finding this new treatment option. Now, let's talk a bit about preventative lifestyle habits. What are some things, are there certain habits that really kind of cause a rise in lung cancer, or is it just, by genetics and just what happens?
Certainly their genetics are involved, and you can be screened for that. When patients are diagnosed with lung cancer, often they'll have a little biopsy of the cancer, can be screened for that. Some people who are exposed to different environmental things like asbestos can develop lung cancer. We certainly know smoking is associated with it. So these are risk factors that if you have those and you then get the symptoms, don't overlook them. It's extremely important. Just last week, the FDA granted accelerated approval for Imdelltra. Now they want additional studies to be done, and we're committed to that. We're committed to doing the studies, committed to the patients. But so now there is at least this, potentially transformative new treatment option for those patients with extensive stage disease.
Wonderful. Well, Dr. Burton, where can we go for more information?
Like any medicine, Imdelltra does have some severe side effects, and it's important that patients and their physicians know about those. There is a website, imdelltra.com, imdelltra.com. Patients can go there. They can learn more about small cell lung cancer. They can certainly learn more about Imdelltra, and then they can have that discussion with their physician, their oncologist, and see what is a good new treatment option for them, and have that discussion. So imdelltra.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you to you and thank you to Amgen for being on the forefront of innovation and helping prevent and treat this incredible and aggressive disease. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, Dr. Burton.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Absolutely. Now stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this quick commercial break.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night?
She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
From small towns to big cities and everywhere in between, we're covering the great things that are happening right now in the USA. This is Positively America with Ernie Anastas.
Each week, we're going to focus on the great things that are happening every day in the USA. We'll feature change makers.
In every older person, there's a younger person saying, how did this happen?
Innovators.
I talk about design the way some people might talk about like the person they're in love with.
Doers and dreamers.
You can use that recognition to pay it forward.
Ordinary Americans accomplishing extraordinary things.
When you smile, you receive one back most of the time.
We're going to prove to you that optimism and hope are paving the way to an even brighter tomorrow.
We've got a lot of programs that are specifically focused on the children of our fallen heroes.
At Positively America, our mission is to feature good news.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Pop Star Today.
Eight-time Emmy-nominated Animal Rescue is a half-hour television series showcasing the heroic efforts of people helping animals. Join host and award-winning journalist Alex Payne and the Animal Rescue camera crew as they travel around the world, capturing dramatic rescues, rehabilitation, and relocation stories. For programming schedule, check your local listings today. Don't miss your favorite episodes of Animal Rescue.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, I'm often in the kitchen and I always talk about the things that I love to do and things that I keep at home, but my kitchen best friend is my juicer. I love to juice all kinds of things, and I'm going to show you today how to make what I like to dub the pineapple zinger, a delicious, crisp, and refreshing juice, especially as we head into the summer months. This is great just to have in the morning. It's also great to mix with a cocktail if you're interested in fun things like that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You can start with pineapple, fresh pineapple, and use your juicer if you have a juicer, or you can get a can or just a bottle of pineapple juice itself. It also involves coconut water. It's great for electrolytes and hydration. Then we've got a fresh lime, because who doesn't love a little lime juice? It reminds you of summer, vacation, whatever it is. And then fresh ginger. You can buy ginger juice. I would suggest, if you have a juicer, getting your own. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Always fun to have a little carafe so you can just pop it in your fridge, and this would make makes just a really fun and delicious juice to start your day with, or if it's the weekend like we're heading into, you can mix it with a little bit of drinks. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to actually go ahead and start with my ginger. We need probably about a half a teaspoon of ginger juice. So I always like, when I take my ginger, I always trim off the sides. You can literally just break it, just like I did, and throw, you don't have to use all of it. You don't have to worry about it. You can throw the rest of it in your fridge, and ginger usually lasts a pretty long time. I put it in all kinds of juices. Usually I start my day off with celery juice. It's got some lemon and some ginger in it, but I like to throw it in basically almost anything that I cook with. I actually throw ginger into some soups as well. It gives it a nice hearty depth to your flavor there. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of trim off the brown area of the ginger. You can actually take a spoon and scrape it too, but that takes a little bit longer. So we're going to start with a knife here. So I'm just going to keep trimming it. You can smell the zing of the ginger. I love fresh ginger, maybe because I'm a redhead. I don't know what it is, but me and ginger, we get along really well. So we're going to go ahead and continue cutting the ginger here. You don't have to make it perfect, but I like to kind of just cut off any of the dead ends. As you can see, when you buy it in the grocery store, they kind of just break it off from the root. So I always make sure that all of these pieces are cut off, any knobs that are hard to get around. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw it into my handy dandy juicer. So it's going to be a little bit loud in here, but we love kitchen noises, don't we? So throwing that ginger into the juicer here, and you just kind of gently press down on it if you have a juicer, just like that. And we need about a half a teaspoon for this drink. Again, you can make as little or as much as you want to. You can see it kind of spinning there. So I've got just about a half a teaspoon. I might actually trim a little bit more, because you never know. I always like to put as much ginger in mine. I know it burns some people's throats, so we won't put too much in this drink, but it's always better to have more than not enough, in my opinion. You don't always have to use it either. Sometimes I'll actually throw it in the fridge if I make it separately from my juice, just to have it on hand. I like to do ginger cayenne shots sometimes in the morning. It aids with digestion. It's pretty great. So I'm just trimming it all up here. We'll put a little bit more in here just to make sure we have enough for this drink. So you need about a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon, depending on what you need to do there. I love this juicer. It's my favorite kitchen appliance, I'd say. Great. There we go. Okay, so we've got all of our ginger right here. We're going to go ahead and let that finish dripping, and then I'm going to show you our next one. We're actually going to need some lime juice as well. So we can either juice the lime in my juicer, which I think I'm going to do, or if you had like a hand squeezer, you can do that, or you can use one of the traditional twisty guys. I know Kevin loved that a long time ago. Kevin and I were in the kitchen together, and we made key lime pie. He had to juice key limes with his hands, and he yelled at me for weeks afterwards. I like to actually just kind of trim up my lime right here, and we'll just, you know what, we're just gonna go ahead and squeeze it. Now here's a fun trick. If you don't have either one of those juices, you can always take a fork. Actually, we do have in this kitchen a juicer, so we're gonna go ahead and use it. All right, actually, we're not. I'm gonna show you my trick. You take your fork here, you just stick it in the middle, and you can just squeeze it just like that, and it kind of helps you not lose the lime. You can get everything out of it that you need to, just like that. We're squeezing it. This is a great little trick if you were in a restaurant and you're trying to maintain table manners and you don't want to squirt anybody with lemon or lime juice in their faces when they're sitting across from you. Just stick your fork in it, cover your hand, and do a quick little squeeze, just like that. Fun fact, we're learning a little bit of etiquette here, and we're cooking all at the same time. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this right here, just like this. Great, awesome. So yes, I love a good refreshing juice, especially when it reminds me of vacation, which anything with pineapple, lime definitely reminds me of vacation, which summertime is upon us, so you know what that means. Lots of vacations happening here in the mountains and beyond. I can't wait to try this refreshing juice. As you can see, squeezing it in there. Awesome, great. So we're gonna go ahead and measure out our ginger because we don't want too much in this. I mean, I'm fine with it, but if I'm serving it to guests, some people don't have fresh ginger in their diet on a regular basis. So we're gonna take about a half a teaspoon, just like that. I love this teaspoon thing because it's different colors, so it makes it easy. You're not mixing it up. I love my juicer as well because you can just twist this up and it doesn't leak all over the counter, which is great. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pour about, whoops. Well, sorry guys, poured a little bit more in there than I anticipated. So it looks great to me. I'm gonna go ahead and actually juice our pineapple. So any excess ginger that we've got, I'm just gonna pour it right now into this container. And we're gonna juice the pineapple. So we need about a half a cup of coconut water and 3/4 of a cup of pineapple as well. So getting that back in there. Now again, if we don't have enough of this pineapple, we'll just use regular pineapple juice. You can kind of supplement it, but I say fresh is always better. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. I'm gonna throw a pineapple into my juicer here, just like this. Great. All right, buckle up guys, because we have more kitchen noises coming at us. Oh my gosh, I can smell the pineapple. I'm already on a beach in my mind. Juicing it up. So we'll just let that spin a little bit more just so it finishes up. All right, we've got a little bit of extra here, so we're gonna do about 3/4 of a cup. I've got some extra juice in from the container here. Now you can take a whole pineapple if you need to. You can cut it up that way. You can buy it already pre-cut in the store. And then we'll just pour a little bit more into this. As you can see, look at that beautiful color and all of that foam from the juice. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I'm on a beach, maybe having a pina colada, I don't know. That's basically what this is. All right, look at that skill, man. I didn't spill it anywhere. All right, and then the last little piece of this drink that we need, we're adding about a half a cup of coconut water. Now my hands are a little bit sticky from all that pineapple juice, but I'll just twist it right here. All right, I'm making a royal mess, but that's okay because as I like to say, if you're not making a mess in the kitchen, you're not doing it right. So we're doing about a half a cup of the pineapple juice. Of the coconut water. I'll just add a little bit more in there, why not? Now this is enough portion for probably like one drink, maybe 2 people. We'll just do a quick little stir, or you can just kind of shake it around, mix it up. Oh my gosh, I can smell the zing of the ginger. Smells so good. The sweetness of the pineapple. The coconut water is great for electrolytes. It also keeps you a little bit hydrated. Now, if there's a little bit too much ginger, you can always add a little more coconut water to kind of thin it out. And then depending on how much sweetness that you actually like, A little bit more of that pineapple juice. No juice left behind is what I like to say. I'm gonna grab a cup and I'm gonna try this out. We'll see how it tastes. And then I'll get to share the rest with my team here at TV8. Happy summer. I'm ready for a vacation. Cannot wait to get the weekend started. Anyways, we'll be back with more on the show right after this break.
Good morning, Vail.
Tune into Coffee with America and start your day in the right direction, where we go over the latest and greatest in health, lifestyle, entertainment, and more. Start your day off on Coffee with America.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Woo. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
Join us on the famous Leadville Railroad. This historic train ride takes you on an unforgettable trip through the heart of the Rockies for an afternoon of adventure, relaxation, and sightseeing. Our scenic train rides are a perfect place to bring families closer together while immersing them in the natural beauty and rich history of this picturesque region. Enjoy the spectacular Colorado scenery. Even meet the engineer. Make memories that will last a lifetime. Tickets available at LeadvilleRailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
Insurance coverage is a conversation that most people don't know how to approach. And what do you do when your normal coverage does not cover you any longer? Now, we had a conversation with the McGrew Agency, who helps with supplemental insurance and when your regular insurance is not enough. Let's take a look.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Unfortunately, medical crises happen, and having to pay for that is just part of it. And lucky for us, we have Jeff Sarovich joining us on the couch with the McGrew Agency to talk about that. And Jeff, thanks for joining us this morning.
I know, not always the most pleasant topic to discuss, but it happens a lot. In fact, last year, Ross, over 45% of Americans thought about that. Like, if I go through a medical issue, health issue, cancer battle, heart issue, or a serious accident, how am I going to pay for all the things my health insurance doesn't cover? I remember before I came on with our agency, I read a Harvard Business Review from 2008 that 60%, I believe, of the medical bankruptcies that year were medically related, yet 80% had health insurance.
Ooh.
So I kind of started looking at that as what's the disconnect. I interviewed with this company and they kind of showed a product line that will pay folks cash when they go through those health issues to offset all their indirect costs that they don't think about. So when I sit with a client, I say, hey, we all take our good health for granted until we lose it. Now what? You're not going to work. The boss likes you, but if you don't show up, how are you drawing a paycheck? Right. So our goal when I sit with a client is really not to sell our product, it's to educate them and inform them on all the out-of-pocket expenses they face when they go through a medical issue.
Yeah, and especially in a community like ours, so active and cancer's everywhere, right? It's really important for us here in this community. And speaking of some of those out-of-pocket costs, we're talking in the billions last year, right? That people are paying.
Little more than that.
Okay.
So the three big issues when I sit with folks that seem to affect folks the most is cancer is number one, heart issues are number two is regarding health, but then accidents are probably the biggest with over $1 trillion spent just last year in the United States on accidents. So when you look at, we kind of use this little iceberg analogy, what's above the waterline is what healthcare covers. I believe accidents last year was about 200 million, but over 800 million was kind of below that iceberg line. So the analogy I give, it's not what sunk the Titanic, what they could see above the water, it's what they couldn't see. That's the cancer graphic, so that's what was spent on cancer last year. So again, two costs. Direct is what health insurance covers, so that's paying the docs and hospitals. What we try and educate folks on is the indirect costs, and that's, again, lost income. Obviously, living expenses continue. The mortgage is coming in whether you go to work or not. I've got 3 kids, they want to eat whether I go to work or not. So we just try and help folks understand that if you can't go to work and you're not drawing income yet these bills are coming in, I don't want people having to go into their savings, their retirement, their kids' college funds, because when those are drained and gone, now what? Now the house might be on the line.
Right.
So we just try and help folks cover those indirect costs by just paying cash directly to them, and they can use the money however they want.
Right, and it's such a stressful situation being where this is with health issues, so that extra income is crucial, and that's kind of where you guys come in, right? And you guys are able to help people. How do you kind of explain to clients what you can do?
Right. Yeah, I mean, we just go through, we have different options. We can meet anyone's budget. We have 4 tiers of enrollment, so if money's tight, which a lot of folks it is, we can still give you a very attractive, affordable monthly commitment, but still has a true impact if you have to use it. I was in a business and I spoke to a young lady, she was 19 years old, and I lead with our cancer product. She goes, how much is it, or how much will it pay me? I said, if you hit every benefit, Crystal, it'll pay you $10,000 per month, no lifetime limits.
Wow, wow, wow.
She's like, well, what will it cost me? I said, $11.10. She's like, sign me up. I'm like, why are you doing this? You're 19. She goes, Jeff, my best friend in high school got diagnosed with leukemia. His parents lost their house. Wow. If you're telling me I won't do that to my folks, my parents, sign me up. And this is an example of one of my clients. So we use handwritten testimonials, Ross, when people go through these. That's our marketing. But we paid this young lady over $108,000 for 10 cancer claims over a 10-year period.
Amazing.
And
amazing.
all it cost her was $63 a month for the whole family.
Amazing, amazing.
So she never had to go into her retirement.
Yeah, and so how can people find you, or where can people go for more information? And
so I book and typically go to somebody's business. So I'm happy. I don't have a home. I mean, I have a home office, but I go. People like the fact that I come to their place of business. We sit in a conference room or break room, and I take maybe 20 minutes to explain this, show different options. But what really intrigues people, Ross, and this is why I took the position, if someone, say, signed up for maybe $100 a month for everything, then I can typically do that. If they never use our product after 25 years, they get 100% of their money back.
Oh, wow, amazing.
So we're going to write them a check. You're going to get $30,000 back.
Amazing.
We get to keep the interest as a company.
Right.
I got to get paid somehow.
Of course.
So we just invest the monthly premium and keep the interest, but that client is either getting unlimited cash payout if they have to use it, the rates are locked, and if they never use it, they get it all back.
Amazing. So this is for people trying to get ahead of a medical crisis, and also for people that find themselves in a medical crisis? Or?
So that's the one caveat. I've got to catch people prior to, so my maybe not so good joke is you can't crash the car and then call and say, hey, I need car insurance.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
We've got to catch you. So what qualifies you is not the money, it's your health.
Right.
And almost all my clients qualify when I meet them. So,
right.
And hopefully they never have to use it.
Right,
So,
and again, in a community like ours where accidents happen and medical crises are somewhat unpredictable.
Yep.
It's a great idea. How do you explain to people that this is really a benefit to them?
By just walking them through. I mean, the company I feel has put together a very easy to understand scripted presentation. When people get to the end, they just like, well, this looks like something I want to put in place, but how do I budget for that? And then we can tailor it to whatever their budget is.
Right, and I'm sure you have some very powerful success stories, right? Like some of these written testimonials. Can you talk a little bit about some of the people that you've helped?
Well, Tiffany that we just showed was probably my biggest local, but I got to attest that the accident coverage actually works. So,
okay.
I dumped the mountain bike about 5 years ago. This $80,000 shoulder, my company paid me almost $9,000. So I paid my deductible, and the 2 weeks I couldn't work, that additional cash was just used to pay all my bills, pay the mortgage, and it's not taxable. You didn't earn it. It's a paid benefit. So we just put it in folks' accounts. They do whatever they want with the money, no strings attached.
For sure, for sure.
So,
and this is, do you try to catch people like some of these in their teens, or trying to get anyone?
You got to be at least 18.
Okay.
And I can go up to age 80. But I'd say the top of the bell curve, Ross, is like 30 to 55 working class families here in the Valley. That's your peak expense years where it's costing the most. Right? I've raised 3 kids. It's not inexpensive.
Yep.
So I just was very grateful when I had my issue that I knew there was some peace of mind knowing I had some cash that I didn't have to touch the savings I'd worked so hard for.
Yeah, and then obviously you're based locally, but you're helping people across the country, right?
We are a nationwide company. Received an update recently. Folks that have enrolled here, the bulk of my 2,600 clients I've enrolled here, but I have clients now in 30 states.
Awesome.
So I didn't go to 30 states.
Right,
they just kind of relocated. So it is portable. You can take it with you. I just paid an accident claim from a gentleman who got injured in Jamaica.
Okay.
So even the accident coverage works out of the country.
Wow. What's something, a frequently asked question or something that a lot of people kind of ask you when they come into it?
Is this a real business? Because no one has ever heard of a company, and especially an insurance company, that says rates are locked, unlimited cash payout, no lifetime limit, and you get all your money back. So that's just a foreign concept to most people, but our founder found, he was in the industry about 10 years prior, he saw the frustrations with most other insurance, just a broad brush, that people would pay all this money and then all of a sudden there seemed to be these, it was, such and such and we can't pay you.
Right.
So I have paid out over $500,000 in claims in the 11 years I've been with the company, here mostly in the Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So promises made, promises kept.
Right.
When I sit with a client, I look them in the eye, I go, hey, there's no fine print. You do have to go 25 years if you want the money back, or pass away, which I hope doesn't happen.
Right.
And you're not earning interest. Other than that, it's as black and white as I'm showing you.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks so much for joining us this
Absolutely.
morning. Anything else we should have talked about? Anything else people should know?
No, I'd love to have a sit down. I'm very easy to work with. I don't pressure people. I hear no the first time.
Right.
So I just want an opportunity to share the information. So if people want to get a hold of me, call me. My cell, 970-376-4337. Let's book a coffee meet and greet, give you a quick overview of rates, and if it's for you, great. If not, no harm, no foul.
Definitely. And then you still on that mountain bike?
Oh, yeah.
Going
to Moab this weekend.
Beautiful time of year to get out and take advantage of it. Not the most fun topic, but it's amazing the help you're giving people. So really cool what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back, America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
What happens to a poker player when there is life-changing money on the line?
Hey, catch! I'm rooting for me.
When they are faced with adversity?
Holy smoke. Jason can't even breathe right now. Look at him.
When a WPT title is within their grasp.
How sweet that is, baby!
See for yourself with a front row seat to all the action on the World Poker Tour.
When people think of world-class destinations, they're drawn to a place that provides opportunities for fine dining, shopping, superior lodging, exciting events, and unparalleled outdoor activities. Park City, Utah and Vail, Colorado are renowned destinations for travelers and extraordinary homes for residents. Feature your exceptional products and services in these two luxury communities. Advertise with Park City Television and TV8 Vail. Contact us today.
Join us in exploring the everyday lives of community members here in the Vail Valley. Hear their inspiring stories of how they came here, their contributions to our community, and why they chose to call this place home. We want you to be one of our neighbors. If you would like to be featured or nominate someone to be featured, please send an email to danielle@tv8vail.com. We look forward to featuring your story right here on TV8.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, before we send you off on your day, I have to show you the weather one more time. Let's take a look at what we've got going on. We've got a high of 64 degrees today, a 10% chance of precipitation this afternoon, 46 degrees this morning, winds coming from the west by southwest at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Moving into that hourly forecast, 58 degrees at noon and mostly sunny, and then this afternoon it starts to drop and the rain starts to come in. 54 at 4 o'clock, 45 degrees at 8 p.m. and rain showers intermittently throughout the afternoon and evening. I-70 corridor, we're looking at 67 in Eagle, making our way. It gets a little bit cooler as we make our way east. Avon 66 degrees, Vail 64 and some cloud coverage. And then Denver, as always, summertime temp 79 for the high and sunshine all day long. Tonight we're looking at 30% chance of rain, 29 degrees for the low. And then that 5-day forecast, cloudy throughout the weekend, but sunshine as we move back into next week. I'm Kim, and thanks so much for joining on this morning's edition of Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel